Hello, welcome to The Revolution Will Be Heard. I'm Dopper and I'm here today to talk about the poster for BWR Viva La Revolution, which has just been released. Look at it. Whoever does their artwork always does such a great job, so that's not news at this point. But let's look at the specifics, starting with the top left corner. There we have 4/5 of the Violence Party: Jimmy McIlvey, Jack Turner, B.A. Rose and the BWR World Heavyweight Champion Scotty Rourke. In case you missed the big announcement regarding what they are going to be doing at Viva La Revolution, here's an exasperated youngie at the end of the previous show making that announcement.
Scotty Rourke! All of this is on you and your Violence Party! All of this! You ain't looking up! And you're doing it locked up! You and the Violence Party together at the auditorium! Tyler Devlin, get free friends! We're gonna get a steel cage!
Tyler's partners for that match have not yet been announced, but the way the poster's laid out, with Scotty having his 3 partners behind him on one side and there being 3 guys behind Tyler on the other side, you would assume those might be his 3 partners. And there is some logic there for all 3 of those guys to be involved in this match against Violence Party. Dara Diablo has direct history with 3 Violence Party members. He was a regular tag team partner of Jimmy McIlvey for many years. They even won the BWR Tag Team Championship. But that reign ended when Dara broke his leg and he missed an entire year of action. Dara's comeback match after that injury was a street fight against Scotty Rourke. It was at the Last Stand 2023 and Dara beat him. Fast forward to the next show, Insurgents, when Dara and Jimmy in a tag team gauntlet match were eliminated by Violence Party members Jack Turner and B.A. Rose. Then at the show after that, No Gods No Masters, Dara faced off against B.A. Rose in a wild singles match and he lost after Violence Party interference. So yeah, Dara Diablo is a prime candidate to enter the cage and get his hands on some members of Violence Party. In front of Dara on the poster is the East End butcher Shah Samuels. Samuels became #1 contender to the BWR World Heavyweight title by winning a triple threat match at No Gods No Masters. His title opportunity came at the Riot Rumble when he became the 5th challenger to Scotty Rourke. Like most of the previous 4, he lost the match thanks to interference from members of the Violence Party. So we can add Shah to the list of people wanting to get their hands on the Violence Party. The next man in line is the headline, Will Cruz. He's been screwed over by Scotty Rourke on 2 occasions in the past year. The first time was after successfully retaining the BWR Heavyweight title in the main event of the Last Stand in 2023 in a hard-fought match with Nathan Cruz. Scotty Rourke seized his opportunity to cash in his Anarchy briefcase contract and challenge an exhausted Will Cruz for that heavyweight title, and Scotty was able to win the match and become the new champion. Then in their rematch earlier this year at Anniversary 7, Cruz was, in my opinion, on course to win the match and regain his title when Violence Party once again interfered, and that, along with Jimmy McIlvey's misguided attempt at helping him, led to Scotty retaining the title. So if all those 3 guys, Dara Diablo, Shah Samuels and Will Cruz, do end up being Tyler Devlin's partners, I think they will have a great chance to defeat the Violence Party in the main event. On to Tyler himself then. Revenge is a great motivator, and he has had revenge on his mind for well over a year, since Scotty tried to cave his head in and end his career in July of 2023. He has attempted to get some retribution for that heinous attack at the last 2 shows with limited success, so being locked inside a steel cage with his nemesis will give Tyler ample opportunity to get some payback. I hope he does. Scotty deserves it, but I'm concerned. While Scotty Rourke has become a bigger and bigger star in the European wrestling scene, with victory after victory throughout 2024, Tyler Devlin has not wrestled in almost 2 years. In fact, it will be over 2 years when they enter the ring at Viva La Revolution. So it's going to be very difficult for him to overcome the ring rust that must surely exist and defeat a guy who has got better and better with every match in that same amount of time. What works in Devlin's favour though is the steel cage element. There are no rules inside that steel cage. Scotty Rourke is an excellent technician and high flyer, but he has had limited success in no rules street fight type matches. Like I said earlier, Dara Diablo beat him in a street fight not too long ago. Compare that with Tyler Devlin, he thrives in a hardcore environment. More so than in a regular match with countouts and disqualifications. So Violence Party are in for a long night inside that steel cage, and I can't wait. Right, that's a lot of speculation about the 8 lads at the top of the poster, but there are 6 other folks on there that we need to talk about as well. Next up is the king of the cruiserweights, Robbie X. When you've got a talent like Robbie X on your show, it makes a lot of sense to put his face on your poster. In 2024, he has wrestled all over the place. In addition to every major promotion in British wrestling, he has also wrestled in Ireland, France, Spain, Germany, and Mexico. What will he be doing on this show is the question though. Well, at BWR's last show, Robbie and his partner Powerhouse Blake narrowly missed out on a 3rd tag team title reign by losing at the final stage of a gauntlet match to Reese and Rogan. After the tag team titles were vacated earlier in the evening, this impromptu match was to crown the new champions, and it took interference from Reese and Rogan's mate, Miles Kamen, to nudge them over the finish line at the expense of Robbie and Blake, who had already beaten the Bred for Better team in the previous stage. So you would assume they could be the number 1 contenders for the next title shot after taking Reese and Rogan to the limit. Not only that, but later on the same show, when Reese and Rogan were trying to return the favour and help Kamen in his match, it was Robbie X and Blake who came out to even the odds and not let Kamen's opponent get screwed over by the numbers game like they did. So I'm hopeful Robbie is part of a tag team championship match on Viva La Revolution, but let's be honest, I'm just glad we've still got him in BWR. Put Robbie in the ring with anybody and it is going to be a great match. Now, I think I'll discuss the next 5 superstars left to right. Much like Robbie X, Lizzie Evo has been a sought-after talent for a long time. She's appeared in all of the UK's top promotions in the last few years, including NXT UK. Finally, in 2024, she arrived in BWR and quickly climbed the ranks. In the first ever female Anarchy Briefcase ladder match at this 7th anniversary show, Lizzie defeated 3 other wrestlers in a brutal contest, claiming the briefcase which contained a guaranteed title match when and where she chooses. Whereas some other winners of the Anarchy Briefcase over the years have taken the opportunity to capitalise on an exhausted opponent after a long match, Lizzie decided to do the honourable thing and told the current BWR Women's Champion Kira Kamara when and where their match will take place. When? Friday the 22nd of November. Where? BWR Viva La Revolution at the Grimsby Auditorium. And let's throw in a Y for good measure, because that just happens to be Lizzie's birthday, that's why. Taking home that BWR Women's Championship would be the best birthday present anybody's ever had since I got my Talk Boy, the year after Home Alone 2 Lost in New York came out.
Now you can be as clever as Kevin with Tiger's new Talk Boy tape recorder.
Stop drooling on me! Stop drooling on me!
It even has speed control.
Hi kids, we're home early.
A mate of mine recently told me that I never criticise BWR in these videos I make. I only ever praise and compliment the company. My immediate response was that taking the time and effort to make a video complaining about not liking something seems a bit bonkers, and that's why I make these videos about things that I enjoy. But in the interest of fairness, and to prove to Mikey that I am capable of criticising BWR when the need arises, I'm going to complain about something here and now. I don't care who I upset, I'm being serious. If you don't like what I have to say, then too bad. I'm saying what needs to be said. The time for compliments is over. I'm gonna shoot. I mean it. I'm doing this. You want to know what my problem is with BWR? What I think BWR should be doing differently? Well, you've come to the right place, my friend, because that's exactly what I'm going to tell you. Right now, Joseph Connors does not have long hair anymore. There, I said it. You've got him there on the poster with long hair. He's currently got short hair. It needs updating. So, what is the short-haired Joseph Connors going to be doing on this show? I don't know, but I do expect Nathan Cruz to be involved somehow. The long feud between Connors and Cruz, a rivalry which is a front-runner for 2024 BWR Feud of the Year, in my opinion, is clearly not over. Nathan thought it was, after he forced Connors to submit in their match at the anniversary show, and promoted Nathan to being #1 contender for the BWR World Heavyweight Championship. But then in the final stages of that World Championship opportunity, Connors ran in and smashed Cruz between the eyes with a brutal kendo stick shot, which led to Scotty Rourke being able to pin Nathan and retain his title. So clearly, Connors isn't just going to let Cruz move on. He wants another crack at him to prove that he is the better man. Will they meet again one-on-one? Maybe. But I have another guest that I will get into a bit later on. Next in line is the Golden Boy, Miles Kamen. His year-long reign as BWR Cruiserweight Champion ended at the last show when Boy defeated Kamen in a brilliant match. After being on top of the Cruiserweight division for such a long time, it's possible he might head in a totally different direction next. But a tweet sent out by Ace Matthews of all people made me think that he might want to reclaim the title he just lost. Immediately after Boy beat Kamen, Ace Matthews chose to cash in his Anarchy Briefcase title shot there and then, and was able to beat an exhausted Boy to become the new openweight champion. Matthews has a fierce rivalry with Boy, so him taking the opportunity to cash in and beat Boy in the underhanded way he did was not a surprise. But what was a surprise to me was that later that same evening, Ace Matthews sent out this tweet. Instead of just bragging, in that annoying way he does, that he beat Boy, he took a dig at Miles Kamen, claiming to be miles and miles and miles better than him. I'd like to see all three of those guys meet with unified titles on the line. Kamen does deserve another shot after spending so long as champion, and Boy definitely does after the way he relinquished the title. But like I said, I could be way off, or miles away. On the other side of Kamen, we see second to none Nathan Cruz. I mentioned his current standing in the company earlier when pondering what was next for Joseph Connors. Maybe another match between those two one-on-one. But there is another possibility that I would be very interested in. Before screwing Cruz over in the main event of The Last Stand, Joseph Connors competed earlier that night alongside his protege and tag partner Riley Nova in the gauntlet match to crown new tag team champions. I commented to my mate on the night that Connors and Nova, aka Bred for Better, worked really well together as a team. They eliminated the Road Bros from the match before losing out to the Guilty by Habit team. Even after Nova sustained a nasty looking black eye and bloody nose, they worked really well together and came close to winning. So I thought at that stage, after that match but before Connors inserted himself into the main event, that I'd quite like to see them team up more often in BWR in what is already a stacked tag team division. So if Connors and Cruz aren't going to have another singles match, I'd like to see Connors team up with Riley Nova against Nathan Cruz and a partner. As we all know, Cruz is no stranger to the tag team division himself after having a record-breaking tag team title reign alongside close friend and partner Matt Myers. But Myers stepped away from in-ring competition back in January and hasn't been seen in BWR since then. Well, there was that time in the Riot Rumble where... No, forget it. What I'm saying is, Cruz would need a new partner to take on the Bred for Better team. He hasn't got any kind of history teaming up with anyone else in BWR beside Myers, but he has teamed up with another guy in another promotion before. You might remember when World of Sport made a brief comeback in 2018 on ITV. They had a tournament to crown tag team champions, and one of the finalists was the team of Nathan Cruz and Adam Flex Maxted. Who is Adam Flex Maxted? He's the other guy on this poster. Everybody else on here we have seen in the BWR ring many times before, but this lad has never appeared in BWR. He is going to be making his debut at Viva La Revolution. Let me tell you a bit more about him. Adam Flex Maxted started wrestling in Northern Ireland around 2015. Then in the summer of 2016, he appeared as a contestant on the TV show Love Island, which makes him one of the very few British wrestlers that Mrs. Dopper is familiar with. And then the first time I saw him wrestle in person was in October of that year against former NXT superstar Bull Dempsey. Having never seen him before, my first impressions were that he looked fantastic, but he flexes too much. I probably should have seen that coming, his nickname is Flex. But the second time I saw him wrestle in person was 3 years later, in the main event of a show in Hull. It was a ladder match between Maxted, Nathan Cruz and some other guy. Flex had kept the absolutely unreal physique, and have you ever looked into his eyes? It's like the first time I heard the Beatles. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Yeah, in the 3 years since I had seen him last, his in-ring work compared to the match with Bull Dempsey was like night and day. He was now really, really good. In the 5 years since then, Maxted has wrestled all over the UK and has been very successful. This is an excellent acquisition for BWR. Maybe he will team up with Nathan Cruz, like I said, or maybe he will be involved in something completely different. But the important thing is that he will be involved. So, almost everything I've talked about so far has just been speculation. The two matches on the show that were confirmed at the last stand were Violence Party against Tyler Devlin and 3 partners inside a steel cage, and Lizzie Evo challenging Kira Kamara for the BWR Women's Championship. And as of right now, that's all we know for sure. They have sold more than 200 tickets already, which with over 6 weeks to go is a great start. And I expect many more announcements to be on the way soon. If you haven't bought your tickets for Viva La Revolution yet, what's your problem? Sorry, that was too aggressive. Tickets are available now from grimsbyauditorium.org.uk. To catch up with everything that has brought us to this point, BWR's entire back catalogue of shows is available on demand at bwrondemand.vhx.tv. That's it from me for now. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel at youtube.com/Dopper6, and I will continue to bring more videos summarising all of the news as we get closer to Viva La Revolution. The excitement is building. I can't wait. Thanks for listening. See you later.